Hi everybody, it is me, Catherine from Equal Love. I just wanted to do a video today, just kind of as a sequel to my previous video. I know that I talked about different types of autism, and I thought that it might be important to just talk in a little bit more detail about the different type of characteristics of autism that are more commonly diagnosed or more commonly seen, I guess, with people who are on the spectrum. This is actually also part of the diagnostic criteria that I talked a little bit about in my first video. So what I'm going to be talking about is, this is my makeshift triangle, is my triad of impairment. So basically, if you can kind of picture a triangle in your head, each point in the triangle, so up the top and either sides here, are a point of a more common characteristic. And as you can tell, since my makeshift triangle is it's continuous, so they all do absolutely affect each other. And there's actually one other point that going fuzzy, there's one other point that I definitely want to talk about as well that isn't necessarily included with the triad, but is also, I think, extremely important. So the first part of the triad is behaviors, and when I talk about behaviors, I don't necessarily mean negative behaviors, or I don't know if you can hear that, but my dog is actually chewing on a treat right now. Not necessarily aggressive behaviors, but it is something that has been brought up as a crisis social worker. I hear that often. Most people actually that I do currently support do have some form of aggression involved. So what I'm hoping to talk about with aggression is more things like spinning around, more the hand flapping, people who like to put things in a row. And what's actually one of the more common early symptoms is that you see children who may not necessarily want to play with their toys, but they want to examine them, and they might examine them in a strange way. I don't have a toy to kind of show you guys. So this is my dog. Well, come here. Get over here. This is my dog, everybody. And her name is Equal, so yes, that's a good girl. My dog's trying to play with me. As far as behaviors go, so putting things in a row, like I talked about, as well as doing those aggressive behaviors, can also be a potential, but behaviors are more so atypical things that you might see. Repeating things to themselves. That kind of stuff actually ties into my second point of the triad, which I'll say is right over here, and that is going to be social skills. So people typically with autism do have a bit more difficulty with social skills. So sometimes people aren't able to make friends at all. Sometimes people need some assistance in learning the social cues about things. So what that means is, you know, if they like a girl in grade 2, people might learn that, oh, you know what, it's a good idea to, you know, tap a girl or push her if you like her in grade 2. But sometimes people with autism don't understand that, you know what, when you're an adult and you like a girl, pushing her or hitting her is actually going to be caused assault, and you might actually get in a lot of trouble with that. So there's a lot of hidden social cues that a lot of our guys don't pick up on. Sorry, my dog really wants to play with me. And that's actually part of what we call as the hidden curriculum, are things that we may, as a quote-unquote normal people, may consider to be common sense things, or things that actually need to be taught to people with autism. The other part of this triangle that that would then be this side of the triangle, that I want to talk about is communication. Now with communication, again, being verbal or nonverbal are absolutely parts of communication. People on the spectrum range in their ability to verbally communicate. People with autism also are able to communicate using pictures, sign language, pointing, that kind of stuff. I'm sorry, my dog is really distracting right now. Pointing. However, communication also can be partially verbal, so people can say a couple words. There's also potentially people who are echolalic. Oh my god. People who are echolalic. So an echolalia kind of means, so Johnny, say hi, and their response is, Johnny, say hi. Equal, say hi. Equal. You say hi? Yeah. Maybe that'll distract her for a little bit. So echolalia definitely works in that way. As well as those nonverbal cues. People with Asperger's, as I said before, actually have a tendency of talking probably sooner than their peer group. So they actually develop communication at a very higher rate than most people. People with again, with Asperger's, also tend to be stuck almost on one specific thing. So for instance, they really love Thomas the Tank Engine, and that's all they want to talk about. And if you don't like Thomas the Tank Engine, it doesn't matter, because they're probably going to talk about it for about 7 hours straight. In that kind of theory that we talk about, it's actually called theory of mind, and that does happen with a lot of people, especially with Asperger's, where basically it's theory of mind, and that means that if they like something, you like it too. So if they want to talk about Thomas the Tank Engine for 4 hours straight and they're really excited, they don't have to actually have the frame of mind or the ability to understand that someone else might not be liking the exact same things that they like. So that's definitely one part of it. So that is the triad. And again, that is my dog. So within that triad, there's another kind of piece that I said that's also just important, and that's sensory integration. So as far as sensory goes, people with an autism spectrum disorder are absolutely find themselves with a lot of sensory processing, and actually people sometimes actually get a sensory processing disorder diagnosis along with autism. So basically what that can mean is that people with autism are either hyper or hyposensitive to certain senses. So sometimes people like to cover their ears a lot. Sometimes people I'm going fuzzy. Sometimes people when they try and okay, give me a hug, and they'll give you a huge hug, and they hug you so tight and you can't figure out why they're hugging tight. That's actually part of sensory. So is that hand flapping that we talked about. So is that rocking. So is that spinning. That's all seeking something out. So people who are hypersensitive are people who maybe don't like loud noises. They don't like food to be too hot or too cold. Sometimes I see people, they bite themselves a lot. Usually right here for some reason. I don't know why. Like this. That's again sensory. They're looking for that self-stimulation. So it's definitely not necessarily part of the triad, but it's absolutely a huge part of it. So there we go with the triad. I am very sorry that my dog was extremely distracting in this video, and hopefully I'll be able to find a better spot, but I'm just really comfy in my bed right now. So if you have any questions about what I've been talking about or want me to elaborate, I know that I got distracted a bit with my dog, but please feel free to comment and of course subscribe. Thanks. Bye.